Alright, so now we finally filled it out all the way up. Ran it for a minute, let it heat up. Now we're just going to drive around the block just to make sure, you know, everything's hunky-dory. Everything should be golden. But yeah, just going to check some things off the list, make sure we're good to go. But yeah, going to drive this around the block. Alright, so this is what we're working with. It's weird. These are definitely not bolted down. So we're just kind of, yeah, riding dirty there for a second, but I just want to make sure everything runs. I've moved it a couple times, but I haven't really driven it. Make sure everything's good, or golden, I guess. So let me just plug in one thing. This is not ideal placement for. There we go. That feels like it'll be out of the way more. So yeah. Loud girl. Water, and it's still dripping. That means it's probably leaking behind. So I'm gonna get another piece and try and tighten that up. See if that'll make it any better. Round 2. Sounds like utter shit, but it runs. So, gosh, so it's so loud, just so loud, and no leaks. All right. Back like we never left. But man, without a dash or anything, it is just loud in here. It's still leaking a little bit of water, so have to tighten that fitting down a little bit more, but otherwise, we're good for what it is. So sweet. So I'm going through the process of looking to clean up the engine base a little bit, just a little bit, not really anything that's really required, but this hard line, I've been wanting to kind of get out of the way and just remove kind of anything that's up here up top. So I'm gonna eventually kind of get rid of some of the stuff and move it behind, I think, this, behind the shelf. There's plenty of room back here. So my thought is take this out. There's already a hole that exists right here. Just probably widen that and then fit this through. Dash 4 hose, fit it through, line up here, come all the way through, and then have it run all the way over, and then we're gonna go down. Problem is, I think I need a line that might be a little bit longer, but we might get away with this. Even if I just go all the way over here. I think it's definitely doable. I just have to drill another hole over there on the left side, widen that hole on the right side, make it match, and then yeah, it'll be kind of tucked behind. The goal is to do the same for all of the lines at some point, because I drilled a hole a long time ago through the chassis, thinking I needed to do that for a 5-point harness. Didn't need to do that, so drilled a hole through the gas line and the brake line. My dumbass fault. But yeah, so I got a different brake line. That's why it looks all janky like that, because that is a different brake line from a different Miata. So I need to take that out because I'm tired of looking at it. That'll clean up the other side too. This should be, I think this one's for the front right brake, but we'll do that. It's not really a requirement. It's nothing that's needed right now, so I'll take my time on doing that part. May just feed it through, but otherwise, yeah, we're gonna start working on our fuel line process for today. Not really putting it all in, but get it set up. We're gonna get these ready so that way we can cut those lines and then put everything that we need to where we want it. But this way we can work towards our fuel pressure regulator, all the goods. Let's show you that are sitting over there. All right, so got a bunch of Beachworks stuff, some fuel line from Hot Rods fuel hose, but this is the injector box that I got forever ago. Got some extra seals in there just in case. So whenever we're ready for that, we'll throw those on. We have the fuel pump. It is a Beachworks 300 fuel pump regulator, or fuel pump. Jeez. And then we have our Beachworks fuel pressure regulator. Looks good from all angles, you know. So I got to figure out where I want to put that overall, but once we figure that out, we got everything set up, and we have our Beachworks 1000cc injectors as well. It'll be good to go, but I need to get all that together so that way when I put this in, it will be ready and I can adjust the fuel as I see fit. And yeah, we're good to go. So we'll start working on making the lines like we talked about in the last video and get that all set up, figure out how long we want it, go from there. And last but not least, I got my M-tuned fuel rail. With that 6 lines on everything. This will go to the fuel pressure regulator. This will come in, this will go out. But yeah, that's the game plan. So we'll start working on getting things kind of lined up in the engine bay and go through. So just me thinking out loud with the M-tuned rail, I'm definitely gonna want this to be a 90. I'm just trying to figure out how I want to route it and where I want it to go. I'm assuming I'll probably have it go underneath, just like this dash 10. Assuming there's enough, there should be plenty of room in there for that. So run that straight down. And then I'm thinking about putting this somewhere over here. I'm just trying to figure out what that'll look like. Because 45 might work, and it'll be a really short line, but thinking a 90 still might be the best for this. So let me get some tinkering around and figure it out. So gone through the motions, we put this together for the most part already. So we have the fitting on the bottom for the return line. We have the piece that's on the right side that's going into it, and then regulation goes to the return line and then out. So that side, we have the mounting spot where we want to mount this, which is going to be right here, right next to our catch can. So try to keep everything pretty close, pretty neat on that corner. And then, like I said, the metal hard lines will probably move around a little bit, or at least out of the way. So for the M-tuned piece, this is what happened when I got it in the mail. I think there was a hole in the box, so it was just kind of dragging, I'm assuming. So I just wore it down. It actually still works for the fitting to connect to it, which is kind of surprising, but I'm still going to just replace it for peace of mind because, you know, that hole is a lot bigger than that hole, so I don't really want to cause any issues, especially when I already have replacement parts available from Radium. So we're just going to take those out. I'll probably use this one down here and then use a Radium one up here. So we'll see, we'll figure it out. But this side's fine, just this side. So I'll knock that out real quick and keep going. So we're gonna go ahead and drill the hole. Start kind of punch it a little bit, but yep. Run this out. And this is a riv nut that I'm putting into here. This just makes it to where I actually can put a bolt through and kind of sandwich in between whatever I'm mounting up here, which will be the fuel pressure regulator. And these are great for pretty much anywhere that has metal. Some other smaller areas probably as well, but I have this throughout the car for the flares, for some stuff in the back. It just, yeah, they're just great. Ta-da! Riv nuts are the best thing ever. Especially for stuff like this, where we want to put a lot of different changes in here. So cool. So got this. I'm not going to tighten it down because we don't really need to right now. Just do it anyway. Just gonna slowly get destroyed and moved out of the way. Go. I think I'm gonna run it like this. I'm gonna block that off. I'm gonna get you to block off for this, just because I think it'll look cleaner with that out of the way. I thought about blocking off this side, and I may still get one for that. I mean, the block off, it's the same for either side, so I'll probably get a block off in general just to see if I want to do it this way, depending on if this fits down here, because it's pretty tight with the catch can line in the way. So we shall see, but I like this side. That's going to feed back over here, which is already attached to the wall, and then when I get my flex fuel sensor, I'll have that running down and through that and then further out. So right now, just kind of planning, probably cut the lines themselves today, and then yeah, just kind of waiting for that order to go through. All right, so a little difference, like we said before, for our PTFE lines, you have the line inside. So this orb, so I think they call it an olive. You essentially want to push that in here, get it to seat down as far down as you can get it, and then this will slide into there. But obviously this will be, so order of operations, PTF line, end piece, slide it through so it's further down like this. Put the the olive here, put that, thread it through, thread it down. So if you have a press, depending on which ones you have, it's easier to put it in here, press it, clamp it in, and then just push from the top down to get it all the way through. Makes it a little bit easier, just to prevent stabbing yourself like I've done a few thousand times here. So took way longer than expected, but and I ruined one fitting. Oh, good old A-lines. So I will get another one of those and keep going. But yeah, otherwise, got one line on there. I need to put the 90 on the other side and go from there. Make sure that that fits. So the trick I'm learning with the PTFE lines is to kind of get it in there, push that as far back in as you can, but make sure there's some thread showing. That seems to be the hardest part, is making sure there's thread showing. So once you get those twisted a couple times, make sure it gets on there, and then that way you know it started a thread. So as you tighten it, you're not as concerned that you're cross threading it. because it might get tight for a second and then it'll clear up. But yeah, tips of the trade, I guess. Block off, which I was talking about before. I got a block off for this because this is for the stock fuel pressure regulator, and we don't need that anymore, so we just block that off. Scratch it up a little bit, but that's how it goes. So I got different ends here just to change the color a little bit, but nothing major. These are still perfectly fine. I'll keep those, but a different 90 for each side, just with a purple, and you'll see. So we have that, but what I did not order were the straight end pieces. So we have the, I don't have the fuel pressure regulator with me, but the end, basically the fuel pressure regulator pieces look like this. So it's a male fitting. So we need a female side to essentially go into that and make it work. So just think of this as a female, totally the wrong piece, but essentially it would go on top and spin around. So that's what I need. That's what I just ordered. So I'm waiting for that stuff to show up, and then we can, once I get the car back and everything and it's running reliably, then we'll throw this in after the fact. And if you guys have stayed to the end, I'll give you a treat into the next part of this for all the paint. So like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more content. Catch you on the next one. Peace.